Hi everyone, my name is Jan. I am a Microsoft certified partner. I have 20 years of experience in installing, fine-tuning and managing Microsoft systems, Windows servers, Windows applications like Exchange or SharePoint. I run hundreds of migration projects to the cloud, Azure and Office 365 included. So in the past I've also built private cloud delivery services to our customers in Europe. Times have changed, and public cloud like Azure do provide a better, more reliable and more sustainable solution for modern IT services and organizations. So this is why you're watching this video. You want to get into the wonderful world of knowledge, an opportunity that is MCSE, cloud platform and infrastructure. So my goal is to share my knowledge and engage a thoughtful exchange with you if you want. Please do not hesitate to contact me or add any comments to this video. I'd be happy to reply to you if you have any questions. In this project, I am going to share my best tips, my best tricks and methods to pass MCSE, which can be a very difficult exam if you are not really prepared to it. This video is a plus to acquiring knowledge through training and reading books, which also I will list my favorites and my bests. And it will help you pass the MCSE Cloud Platform exam. The training video will be divided into 3 sessions. Session number 1. Part 1, what is MCSE? You might not know, so I will explain what it is and what it serves for. Session 1, Part 2. The prerequisites to pass MCSE Cloud Platform and Infrastructure. Session 1, Part 3. We will review the exam's path, how to make a choice, how to deal with it. In the second session, I will discuss my tools and tips, as well as review how I organize to prepare for the exams that might serve you. In the second part of the second session, I will discuss the topic of procrastination and how to fight it and beat it. And in the third part of the second session, what to read, what to listen to, how to be a better reader and a better listener to the trainings you might get or the books or articles you might read about MCSE, Cloud Platform and Infrastructure. And the third session, we will cover how to prepare for D-Day and how to plan for each exam. Part 2, we will review failing, how to cope with that and what are your options after you fail. And in part 3, I said, well, welcome to the wonderful world of MCSE. You success, you passed the exam, so what's next for you? So I hope you will enjoy the video as much as I enjoy making it. Again, please do not hesitate to contact me, send me a message, write a little comment. I'm there for you. Have a nice day and please enjoy.
Hello, hi. And welcome all to how to prepare to Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer, Cloud Platform and Infrastructure exams. So in this first session, we will review definitions and the prerequisites certification path that you need to reach to get your MCSE CPI exams and to get certified by Microsoft. So my name is Jan. Welcome and please enjoy the rest of the video. So what is MCSE? Well, MCSE certification is one of many Microsoft certifications that may be obtained by passing a set of exams, and they are designed to test the proficiency, the professionalism, and in a combination of complementary Microsoft products. So as you can see in this drawing, you have many acronyms. So you have like MCSA, MCSE, of course, that's the topic of this video. You also have existing other certifications. So the lowest one is MTA, that's for Microsoft Technology Associate. Then to get to this certification, it's a very basic certifications that shows that you have fundamental knowledge in a wide range of technical concepts. The MTS certification is the first certification you can get in the mobility, the cloud, productivity, the data, and the app builder path. So once you pass any of the Microsoft exams, then you become automatically an MTA holder for this particular product or technology that you would have passed. So again, MTA is the lowest certification you can achieve, and that's the first you need to get to MCSA. So MCSA is for Microsoft Certified Solutions Associate. It's an entry-level certification, but it's a step above MTA. To get an MCSA, you need to pass at least 2 or more exams, depending on which path that you need to take. So MCSA is available in all certification paths, and a requirement to get to the next levels of Microsoft certifications, which are MCSE or MCSD. First, MCSD, that's for Certified Solutions Developer. That's the most popular certification for developers. I would say the most Microsoft popular certification. It's the top certification that you can achieve if you follow the apps builder path. And the MCSD is a step above MCSA, and it's the equivalent for developers to MCSE. So finally, MCSE, it stands for Microsoft Certified Solutions Expert. And for all other besides Apps Builder, the most advanced certification you can get is the MCSE. It's also very popular and widely recognized in the IT industry. So, as we mentioned, from MCA to MCSE, you have to pass numerous paths to access to. You can pass from MTA, so just need to pass, as you can see, one of the prerequisite exams in the topic of that video, which it's in regard of private cloud, CPI, which is Cloud Platform and Infrastructure. As you can see, you have very basic MTA courses that you can take before getting to MCSA, but if you just want to go straight to MCSA for the cloud Microsoft certification, then you need to get MCSA for Server 2012, for instance. Or if we go back to there, you can see that you have MCSA as well for data engineering with Azure. If you're more a developer, it would be like MCSA web applications. And then from there you can also get to get the MCSE, which is the second line of that slide. So you have 4 eligible MCSA for you. That's Windows Server 2012, the same but for Server 2016. You have the Linux on Azure, and the last MCSA you can get as well is MCSA Cloud Platform, which is specialized, of course, in Cloud Azure. So, what are the advantages of getting you certified? Well, it will give you advantage over others, because having MCSE certification will make you one of a few that actually have taken the time to take classes and pass all the exams. So That's a very good advantage you can have onto others. It will aid you driving success. The age of technology has gotten to the point where it will determine the success of the business. Businesses that are updated with all the new technology and know how to use it properly will be more successful than those who are slightly behind times. So this leaves many companies looking for employees who are well versed into this IT field and are certified. While getting certified for companies, it gives you a certain added value as a certified professional to you and to your company. And Microsoft offers referrals to companies that have a certain number of employees with a certification. This will help the company to obtain more power by placing the Microsoft symbol on their web pages, for instance, and to show the list of the beloved employees that are certified. It makes your knowledge clear, because when you have a certification on your resume, employers will be able to clearly see your expertise on a topic, so that it will be easier for them to sort through all the candidates and get to know who is the best, who has how they would compare with others who don't have a certification or who have the same kind of certifications, if they are really updated to on the certified level or not. It will bring you higher pay. This certification, if you want to make more money in the technology field, you will need experience and education. Experience is one that you have to work on, of course, like to pass your exam, but the Microsoft certification will show employers your education. You will be able to negotiate pay easier because you will be able to document your worth. And that is just really something that's not coop. So it will also make your knowledge clear, because technology changes nearly hourly, and with new products on the market every year, every month. Having the MCSE certification does not end it with one test. You will need to recertify every 3 years, so that would push you to study and to increase your knowledge in a certain field. And so that would give you a good, as we said, advance on others. It can also provide you job security. That's worth a weight of gold on job security. When you obtain a Microsoft certification, especially one of the expert certifications, you will secure your job with the ability to have higher job performance because of your knowledge, because of your training, because of your ability to learn. And in addition, you will be able to train maybe other employees as well, so that would give you some more power and influence on your colleagues. So, as MCSE is one of the top Microsoft certifications, if not the highest at Microsoft certifications, as an engineer, and it's one of the certifications that is worth the work for multiple reasons that we just discussed, but especially for those who plan to build a solid career as system engineers in the IT industry. So bear with me for the rest, and we are going to talk about the MCSE prerequisites to pass MCSE CPI, Cloud Platform and Infrastructure. Once you pass all the necessary exams, you'll get your Microsoft badge. which you can display on your LinkedIn profile, for instance. You can use it as a diploma or reference, and have it on a special also a business card. So you have different paths to get to the MCSE CPI. It will depend, this path that you choose will depend on your knowledge, what you already know, your experience, what you already done in the past with your job, and the goals that you have both professionally and personally. But first, before you get to MCSA CPI, you need to have at least one of the 4 MCSA certifications. So that would be MCSA Server 2012, Server 2016, or MCSA Linux on Azure, or MCSA Cloud Platform. So in my case, I became a happy MCSA Windows 2012 server. Okay, coupe. So in my case, I became a happy MCSA Windows 2012 server before attempting MCSA CPI. I must admit, I needed to attempt twice each exams before succeeding. So it took me over a year working on my job at the same time, and I was relieved and proud after passing the final exams. So you have, in that case, you have 3 exams, as you can see. It's 410, 411, and 412 to get you to MCSA Windows Server 2012. Each of the exams have different topics which you need to master at some point. And depending on the path that you choose, then you have, of course, different exams and different topics to study. So it might seem complex, but it's not really the case. Let me explain those paths to you. First, you need to choose your MCSA category. You have to pass all the exams necessary in that category. When you pass the exams, the order do not import. If you choose MCSA 2012, for instance, you can pass 412 first, if you feel like it, and then 410 and 411. But of course, I'm saying that, but there's a progression. It's better to take 410 before, then to upgrade to the other level 411, and to get to last level 412. Because though all are different, all the topics are different in that exams, there are crossing subjects in each of them, and what you might study for 410, you might use it for 411 or 412. So that can be very interesting as well to get you in order, because of course they are more or less difficult, each of them, it depends. But on my perspective, I would say the last is usually the hardest to get because of the kind of pressure that you can put on yourself, because that's the last exam you need to have. So let me just go on about those MCSAs. So MCSAs 2012, that's going to tackle your ability to implement and configure Windows Server 2012 core services, for instance. There will be lots about the Active Directory, the networking services, the maintenance for server infrastructure, all that deals with user and group management, the network access, the data security. And that would be mainly the topic of the first two exams, 410, 411. For 412, that would be the sequel to the first two, and really exactly you would have advanced topics on Active Directory, networking services, maintenance, user and group management, how to deploy, manage, and maintain Windows 2012 infrastructure. You will learn about fault tolerance, disaster recovery, certificate services, and identity federation. So MCSA 2016, that's another MCSA. It's about the same as 2012, except it's for the newest version for Windows servers. That would cover about the same kind of topics, but it's a different path. In MCSA 2016, you will have to learn about local and server storage solutions, data deduplication, high availability, and failover clustering, networking as well. All the functionalities, the new functionalities for Server 2016 on DNSs, DHCPs, IPAM implementations, the remote access solutions like direct access and VPN. It will also cover in the installation and configuration for ADDS. That's for Active Directory Domain Services, the group policy management, the Active Directory certification services, web proxy, Active Directory Federation services, etc., etc. Third on the list, MCSA Linux on Azure. So for this one, as you can see in the drawing, you have to pass one Microsoft exam, which is 533, implementing Microsoft Azure Infrastructure Solutions. And plus this one, you have to get your Linux Foundation Certified System Administrator. So that's just 2 exams, while the other compares to 3 exams you need to pass. So as Linux is growing really quickly, there's a shortage of experienced Linux professionals. It's a bit of both worlds then. You need to have like the basic 533 for Azure, plus your Linux. And the basic 433 is just about how to do basically implementing an infrastructure solution on Azure. You have to have experience on implementing monitoring cloud, hybrid solutions, lifecycle. So the last path, which is a pure cloud path, because then you will get MCSA Cloud Platform and then MCSE CPI. The MCSA Azure Cloud Platform certification is very interesting because as well you just need to pass 2 exams and last 3rd exams to get to your MCSE. So MCSA, as you can see, you have to choose between two exams with the list of 4 that you can see. Then there's 532, developing Microsoft Azure solutions, 533, which is implementing Microsoft Azure infrastructure solutions, 535, which is architecting Microsoft Azure solutions, and 537, configuring and operating a hybrid cloud with Microsoft Azure stack. The MCSA Azure Cloud Platform is mainly implementing a cloud infrastructure, and you have to be also knowledgeable on hybrid solutions. So it would be partly different categories that you need to be knowledgeable from. So that's all that deals with Azure ARM. That's for the resource Azure resource management. How to manage the identity, the network services, the applications, how to design and implement your Azure web mobile services, the compute system. So basically the choice is yours. You see, you must have one of these 4 MCSA before getting an elective exam to get your MCSE CPI. So as you can see on the list there, you have an elective exam pool. You have around a dozen exams to choose for. Most would be about Azure systems, but you have also that are around Azure developing. So here you can have a shorter view of the previous slide where you can visualize better the 4 MCSA. So as we mentioned, between the 4 of them you have to make a choice which fits the best your experience and your knowledge. I would say in my case it was easier to get MCSA Server 2012 or 16, but because I was more from the engineering Windows field. If you are more specialized, if you already have knowledge or an experience in Linux, then MCSA Linux on Azure is good. If you already are working with Azure, I would say MCSA Cloud Platform is perfect. Or if you don't know anything at all, then you can really start with the Cloud Platform and start by getting one of the 4 elective exams, the 4 prerequisite exams to get your MCSA Cloud Platform. So basically, I'd say upon your experience and your goals, you have to choose one of the 4 MCSA. So about this MCSE CPI elective exam pool. So as we mentioned, you can get to MCSA before you have to get to MCSA before getting to MCSE. And so if you take for instance the MCSA Cloud Platform, it's an easy one in the sense that you just have 3 exams to pass to MCSE. So you have to choose between 2 of the MCSA exams, like 432, developing Microsoft Azure solutions, 433, that's the implementing Microsoft Azure solutions, Microsoft Azure Infrastructure Solutions. You can choose also 535, architecting Microsoft Azure Solutions, or 537, which is the configuring and operating a hybrid cloud with Microsoft Azure Stack. So once you get once you pass one of those 2 that you would choose, then you can get to the elective to exam pool to MCSE and choose one of this list that you wouldn't have gotten. So that's why, to me, this path is one of the best, because you just have 3 exams to get to MCSE. That's really the new Microsoft approach to get to MCSE that has brought this simplified path. But don't get me wrong, it's simplified, but it doesn't mean it's simpler, because you still have to study a lot. You still have to know a lot, and you still have to brace yourself for this quest to MCSE. So I won't read you all the list here. You have to see for yourself. As you can see, there are different topics. There are really pure cloud. There are one around Server 2016. You have some that deals with DevOps that are coming soon, Linux on Azure as well. Again, you have many topics, so it's either really pure Windows system or pure Azure system. So it's really up to you then upon your goals and your experience where you want to go. There's lots of exams to choose. So in the next few minutes, I wanted to talk to you about some 3 specific exams that I think that you should have a look to. That's 70532, 70533, and 70535. So about 70532, that's developing Microsoft Azure solutions. So this exam covers a number of core topics directly relevant to the life of a developer building cloud-native solutions for Azure. You're required to understand a breadth of subjects like virtual machines configuration, virtual machines deployment, choosing amongst several competing data storage technology, integrating with cloud identity solutions like Azure, Active Directory, also known as AAD, leveraging serverless Azure functions and cloud scale messaging with service bus and event buses, etc., etc. The exam itself consists of multiple choice, case study, and other types of questions geared toward experienced Azure developers. It's about the same for all exams. It's about the same type of questions that you would get. So that would really reach for the knowledge and the experience that you have with Azure, and it will test everything that you will know or that you had learned during your exams learning. So in more details, we have about 25% of the overall exam score, 25% of the overall exam score, which is geared toward create and manage Azure Resource Manager virtual machines. So you might know it about with the same name as acronym as ARM. So that's all that deals with the virtual machines, the configuration for the management, the scaling, how to design and implement the storage, how to monitor the VMs, and how to manage the availability. Another 25-30% of the exam is going to be about designing and implementing data storage strategy. So data storage is, of course, a very important part of Azure. You might know already about Microsoft SQL database. You also have to learn about Cosmos DB, which is kind of equivalent to SQL, but only it's geared toward specific Azure technologies. Then the rest and the biggest part of the exam is going to be about design and implement Azure Compute Web and Mobile Services. That would represent about a third or 40% of the exam. So if you fail this part of the exam, then you can try it again, I guess. And this part is design and implement Azure Compute, web and mobile services. This part is about API, of course, API app services, the whole app service, mobile apps development, the design and implementing Fabric applications, as well as how to design and implement third-party platform as a service. So it's really oriented for developers. So it's a tough exam.
So you have to be prepared for lots of things, but mainly I would say beware of the code snippets. I was surprised by how many code snippets were in the exam. So a lot of the tutorials and videos online don't mention this. So for instance, you have to know the order in which you want your code to do what you expect, as well as how to choose the best answer written in code. There's no real need of being an experienced developer, but you have to be aware of what it is. So being a system administrator, I can understand how different approach it can be to system management. So you also have to be prepared for real-world situational questions. So how to make some cost savings when you implement Azure solutions. And last but not least, I would say that's the whole story of the exams in Microsoft at the moment. It's PowerShell. So you have to really know very well PowerShell for that specific Azure development exam. And because the automation capabilities of PowerShell are well worth the learning curve upfront. It makes sense why Microsoft would test your capabilities with PowerShell. It's becoming, if not already, it's a standard for any Microsoft admin. So also passing the exam on the first try may feel like an accomplishment. You may still feel that there are gaps in your Azure bag of tricks in certain areas. So it doesn't help that post-exam, Microsoft doesn't let you know what questions you got right or wrong. Unfortunately, you fail, but you don't know why. So if you remember the questions, then you can go back to review that after the exam. But you might have passed as well. So once it's done, it's done. Second exam, I would suggest that's 7533. The focus in this exam and learning path is on implementing the underlying infrastructure to support solutions. That's 7533, implementing Microsoft Azure solutions. This will walk you through the fundamentals of Azure to ensure that you have a strong foundation, and then deeply cover each exam objective with full tips, tricks, PowerShell and Azure CLI references, and overall advice for taking the exam, making you well-rounded and most prepared for obtaining your 7533 Azure certification. So you have on the menu quite a lot in this one. It feels like 2 exams into one. So you have basically everything that's inside Azure that is tested with this exam. It's not like 532 where you are really developers oriented, and 535 where it's more like systems. There you have both of those, so you don't have like a major part to succeed to be able to get the exam. You have to be good at most of it, but not perfect in one. So, for instance, maybe one of the 2 biggest parts that you have to study would be, of course, the main part, which is always Azure security and recovering services. That would represent like a quarter probably of the whole questions, and the implementation of virtual networks. That would be about designing and implementing multi-site hybrid network connectivity, configure the ARM networks, and designing and implementing a connection strategy. So these 2 parts, the security, so which deals with data protection and security compliance, and the virtual networks on the whole, you would be about 35–40% of the whole questions. You have other important topics, so same again, ARM, VMs, how to manage, monitor, scale, or to treat containers, the design of app services, the storage strategy, how to make and implement ARM templates, so ARM again, and a bit of the Azure operations, as well as identities. Identities is all that deals with AAD, Azure Active Directory, the connector health for hybrid environments, the whole how to implement Azure B2C and B2B, connectivity, how to monitor all this, and how to integrate your on-premise Active Directory with A. So this exam is a nice follow-up to 7532. It makes a 5-star meal, and it's great with all the varieties of ingredients and foods, and of course the main serving. So the idea of this certification, Learning Pass 70532 and 70533, is that it will get you to a nice cloud-oriented MCSA, and that will then be able to give you a good foundation before going to the next step and the next exam to get your MCSE CPI certification. So once you are done with 532 and 533, you are MCSA, Microsoft Certified Solution Associate. That's you. And then you just have one step to go, and you go on the way to achieve your ultimate goal, become an MCSE Cloud Platform and Infrastructure. So that's why I propose, for the next one, I propose this third exam, which is 7535. 7535 is Architecting Microsoft Azure Solutions. So with the complexities and scenarios of cloud migration in mind, Microsoft recently released this exam, which replaces 7534, which wasn't as focused on architecture. So this is a short exam. I would say shorter than the others. It's around 40 to 60 questions. You would be grilled for 1 hour and a half, 150 minutes test, and it would cover broadly the whole Azure world. So they target mainly IT professionals, software architects, or solutions architects with this exam. Being architecture-based, this exam is at a higher level than 532 and 533. So professionals planning for this certification are required to have prior knowledge of Microsoft Azure solutions, of course. So the candidates who are familiar with the Azure services, I guess you should be at that time if that's the third exam that you pass. The capabilities and features can make effective decisions to design public as well as hybrid cloud applications. This is the best fit for the certification. If you're looking to pass this exam or advance your career as a cloud architect and get on your MCSE CPI, this is the final exam to pass. After your MCSA certification, this 7535 exam is the last step to your ultimate step. It's the last step to your goal, and you will be tested again on various subjects such as lots of them. So I mean, there in this slide, I've shortened that a bit, but you have to be aware that okay, you still have to know about, of course, ARM VMs, the compute infrastructures for virtual machine, the serverless computing, the microservices, all that's related to relational database, SQL database, Cosmos DBs. You will have also to be maybe to have a little more on database such as what's the name again? Stop. Comment s'appelle cette base de données? Oh yeah, okay. So you have also databases. So design Azure data implementations of using storage, relational databases, SQL, Cosmos, MongoDBs, and so for the NoSQL data stores parts, the networks, the security and identity solutions, etc., etc., etc. So for we have the whole part of design for data that would be like probably 20%. Another 20% would be for design networking implementations. So external connectivity, internal connectivity, the DNS, DHCP, and IP strategies that you can use to define your Azure infrastructure. Design connectivity for hybrid applications. So, wow. So, I mean, you have so much to learn on VPN, how to join VMs to domains outside and inside the cloud infrastructure. Security, of course, very important for Azure, Active Directory, AAD. You have to take into account the use of design and ADT solutions, such as ADFS, MFA, so multi-factor authentication. You have also hybrid on-premise AD with AAD connection. Design a data security solution using Key Vault. Key Vault is an important part to know about, something that's sometimes very much overlooked. So if you have a look, go check for it, Key Vault. I would say probably the last two big parts. So it's designed for platform services. So you have very push technologies, very important technologies at the moment, which is the design of AI services, the design for IoTs. These are two, I would say, hot topics at the moment. So be sure you have a good look at it. Design messaging solutions and the design for media services solutions. And lastly, that's all that's relating to operations, and so basically managing how you're going to make your monitoring, how you're going to make your alerting strategy, what kind of automation you're going to put in place to determine the different solutions that Microsoft provides you to make this automation. So you have a Chef, a Puppet, PowerShell, Azure Automation, Event Grid, and Azure Logic Apps. So you see for operations, management, strategy, you have lots of optional tools that you can use and combine. So all in all, 7535 architecture Microsoft Azure Solution Exam is a higher level exam. So therefore, if you want to pass this exam, you really need to have a broad knowledge on Azure topics and features, and you have to be prepared well. So for this one, you should not expect code or a go-to simulation of the interface. You need to understand the entire Azure environment. So Microsoft certifications, as we mentioned, there are really different levels: MTA, MCSA, MCSE. The MCSE is the highest, with MCSD is the highest certification you can get from Microsoft as an engineer. They are really centers of excellence. So they will put you on the map and put your brain to some
different experience than the one you used to if you're already an experienced Windows or Microsoft engineer. So the MCSE CPI, it's really the expertise you need for an evolving IT industry landscape. Cloud is everywhere. Cloud is the norm. More and more organizations they turn to the cloud, and so the demand for IT pros for those with the experience and skills needed to effectively manage systems are increasing tremendously. Microsoft Azure was once a challenger, is now one of the key players in the cloud technology, among with Amazon. And so the MCSE Cloud Platform and Infrastructure Certification will also open you up to new opportunities, provide you with the skills and knowledge that you need to take full advantage of this technology and show how much your experience and knowledge and study power has brought you so far. So I hope you enjoyed this first session. We start the next session about tools and tips. We will also talk about and review how to beat procrastination. I will give you also some of my best books, websites that I used to study. So I hope to see you for the next session, and I hope you enjoyed this first session, so please stay tuned. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. Have a nice day. Hi, and welcome again to this course. This is the second session for how to prepare to Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer Cloud Platform and Infrastructure exams. My name is Jan. Welcome to session 2. In this session, we are going to review the different learning curves, what you should read, what you should do to practice your exams. Should you take or not the courses, the regular courses, or where can you find other type of informations to train and to learn? We are going to have some tutorials, some basic tutorials to start your to get you started on Azure. This is going to be fun. So you're going to learn how to create your Azure account. You'll use your $200 free from Microsoft and create new VM on Azure. I'm going to show you as well the basic use of the Azure portal. And then in the end, we'll talk about some more tips to pass your exams and to prepare for the exams. So the training courses. You have many choices. You can simply take a real class. That means that you can register at Microsoft Certified Training Center and follow like a 5-day class for each exam that you wish to pass. You have to be aware, of course, these are not free. So if you have a good budget, that's going to be nice for you. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not really interested into going into a class for 5 days in a row, listening to someone who might or might not be experienced enough, because I mean that's something that can happen is that the teacher you might get is not that experienced in the field of what you do, and also you might not have like 5 straight days to take in a row out of your job to make the training. I personally prefer to go onto alternative training systems, especially now. Currently, you can have many sources of information apart from books. So we'll talk about books later on, but you have numerous websites that can help you to learn the craft and get you starting on Azure and specifically on MCSA training or MCSE training for whatever type of exam that you want to pass. You will always find something, some site on the internet and some very good information on the internet. Also, you might find that, of course, what's nice with a real class is that you have interaction with your colleagues or with the trainer, but anywhere on the internet you can have the same kind of interaction, maybe not live, but at least if you have some questions about specific topics, then you can still go onto the website and write a comment or ask for something, maybe even a direct link to email for some of the trainers, and they might reply to you. So on top of the list of the training courses you can get, you can use Microsoft Virtual Academy. So that's Microsoft. They will provide you free courses. I know it's a bit strange, but it's true. And you have the Virtual Academy and you can get some insights, some basic informations that you might be looking for to get you going on this path to train to your exams. So MVA, definitely a website to go. The second one I would suggest you, and for me that's the best probably, it's cbtnuggets.com. It's a very well-known site. If you haven't been there before, just have a try. You can register and get some nice courses. Of course you have to pay, but at some point it's very interesting to see that this site keeps things updated regularly. And that's where you can really get your training starting as well, but in more precise way, because they will specifically give you online trainings for the kind of courses that you want to follow and the kind of exams that we are talking about at the moment. So yeah, you can go on cbtnuggets.com as an alternative sources, an extra source to your course. So like for instance, if you're looking for 70-532, there you go. So you have several courses there. You remember the three courses the three exams we were speaking about. So 532 there, and from here you can get this course. So again, get started now. You sign up, you have a monthly bill. You can cancel that, of course, at some point after seven free days. So at least you can have one course for free to try. That's a good alternative for you. So the other one would be MVA, like there. As you can see there, again, on MVA, you have tons of things there you can browse and check out. So if you select down the products there, Azure, 11 courses. Data Lake. So you see, you can learn things from Microsoft there, and that would get you started, at least for a few hours, and get some more insights for your training. Another site I would suggest is Pluralsight. So this one is a bit like CBT Nuggets. I'm saying a bit because CBT Nuggets is not really like a standard for Microsoft training, I would say, and Pluralsight is probably newer website, and there you can get broader courses on other topics. But if you type MCSE, yeah, so MCSE, you can see there that you have lots of courses as well. And so if you look out here, I should see
Yeah, so you have the old 534. You still have this old, so that can be interesting to watch. But I'd say anyway, 534 has been replaced by 535. So you would take the 535 course, nothing there. And if you take 532, yeah, so 532, you have something. So you see, it's better probably to get CBT nuggets. They are more updated than, as I said, they are the most updated sites that you can get for online training. YouTube, so you can get to see on YouTube some videos for training, but honestly, I would avoid that because that is just very basic video training. Go to the major websites. Of course, you have to purchase the courses. Again, I'm not affiliated, but for me, it's the best thing to do is to get trained by professionals and to be sure that also you can have some kind of feedback in case you have some questions, which CBT Nuggets, Pluralsight, and others would provide. A newcomer, I would say, I discovered a few months ago was a Cloud Guru. That is really all that deals with basically, you understood, cloud technologies. So you can see there if you are interested. So you have quite a lot, not only on Microsoft. So they are really they are broadly providing courses for cloud solutions. So if you look at, again, we are going to check if they have the 7535. Yeah, sorry. Here they do have one. 12 hours. So you see, if you combine, I would suggest that you would combine different courses, combine CBT with Pluralsight and maybe a Cloud Guru. That would give you different approaches, different teachers, and so you would follow different, probably 2 or 3 courses. Of course, you have to have time for this, but if you're going to pass the exams, the 3-4 exams that you need to get to MCSE, then yes, you need to spend some time. So it's a good way to avoid the very expensive real class solutions if you are not keen to pay. And the nice thing as well is that you'll get different views from different people, like you do at the moment listening to my watching my video, like you do at the moment watching my video, like you do now watching my video. And so basically you can reach out to them, to me. They are pros. They would give you some details and practice and practical views on how to get yourself trained and which kind of objectives you specifically need to review in order to get and to pass your MCSA and then MCSE. So the books. I would start with Microsoft Exam Refs. So those are little green books that Microsoft provides for you to get started in order to prepare for the exams. So you would get lots of references for official references from Microsoft, some kind of fake questionnaires to prepare for the exams in order for you to train correctly and to learn the basics from Microsoft. So you need to take one book for each type of exam. Then afterwards, it's really basic, I would say. I've only taken one, I guess, exam ref, maybe two, no, just one of these books in order to pass my MCSA. It's not that good. You have other sources to that are much better to prepare. So first book I would recommend is Azure, Beginner's Guide to Microsoft Azure. It's a very short book, less than 300 pages. It's damn cheap, so you can get it on Amazon for free if you have like the Kindle monthly, the Kindle Unlimited thing. You can buy it for like $4. It's not really updated, I'd say, but it's a good start for you if you don't know anything about Azure and you want to get you started before trying the Azure directly and get hands-on Azure. Little black book, fast, easy to read, clear information. It's super. I would just one thumb up, not two, but it's okay. Second one I would recommend, okay, they are not in orders, but it's Unleashed, so that's very famous, Unleashed, and that's the Microsoft Hybrid Cloud Unleashed. That's a big book. It's 360 pages. They are full of information. It's very interesting. So it's written by 5 people, 5 MVPs, so they are really knowledgeable people, and basically would drive you through the experience of how to mix private and public cloud. So they would give you like basic and upper knowledge for how to secure, how to build high-performance hybrid clouds. It goes from top to bottom, bottom to top, either way. It's very, very precise and interesting book. So you have lots of details like how to use the APIs or to secure the portal or to install and configure the Azure stacks, how to manage the tenants, how to, well, everything that goes inside Azure it's going to be for you. So you'll have also what was very interesting for me to read. It's in the end is that it gives you a very precise insight on how to automate and customize Azure in order to be proficient on your reliability, security, and productivity. It gives you also lots of information on how to deal with cost savings. That's a very important thing to know when you are running the Azure cloud. So it's any public clouds. It's to really keep your eyes on the costs. And that book is very, very good. 2 thumbs up. It's you have to have some experience, some beforehand knowledge to use it, to read it. But it's really worth the time spent. Another very good books, it's Azure for Architects. So it's more about design and serverless solutions. So it gives you good information on how the cloud what the cloud is at the moment. It's not just like a couple of VMs that you have to have started on your tenant. It will guide you through all the important and tough decision-making aspects involved in architecturing public cloud for your organization. That it's really practical as well as the Unleashed book is, and it will drive you through how to use the different types of services, the Azure functions, the Azure analytics. It will give you also very basic information for how to familiarize yourself with the platform itself, how to secure it, how to design and implement serverless solutions. So it's really interesting book by Ritesh Madhi. 400 pages, so it's more or less the same as the Hybrid Cloud Unleashed book. Worth the read as well. 2 thumbs up. Those are my three recommendations, the 3 books. So the basic for the beginners, and the 2 more experienced ones for the Unleashed and the Azure for Architects. Grab them, get them at some point. You have to read them. It's very important for you for your training and your learning at the same time. So speaking about training, you have to know that on internet, you will get access for Microsoft to, they will give you like very interesting practical courses, tutorials. So the first one I'm going to show you, because it's very important for you to practice and use Azure in order to prepare for your exams. You see there, it's on TechNet, you can see this. So it's an old one, but still very accurate for what it does. And you see that you have like I think it's 7-week study. 7-week study. So which gives you different modules to prepare, and that's very, very interesting for you if you start. So in 7-week time, so you get this cloud setup, how to migrate machines, how to start your system center. So you can, of course, there are different things that are maybe obsolete, but it's worth the read because it gives you like a good insight of what you can do with Azure. Another practical site is buildazure.com with very accurate and recent insights on Azure. So those people there, they will provide you insights for the certifications and how to deal with that. And they will give you insights for books as well, lots of information there, very interesting source of information as well. So don't hesitate to go on buildazure.com for more information. So now we are going to go on the part of the session that's very interesting. I think that's more interesting than listening to me talking. I'm going to show you a tutorial on 2 parts. First part is going to be how to start your Azure tenant. It's very basic. So you create your account, you log in, and there you go. You get access to your first dashboard. And the second tutorial is going to be on how to create a VM on Azure. 2 ways. The first, using the web interface, where to click, or how to create your VM like this. And the second one would be using the CLI that's provided on the website as well. So with command lines, how to create Azure VMs. So I hope you enjoyed the rest, and I'll talk to you back after the tutorials. Okay, so in this session we are going to see how to get your access to Azure and to start your registration. You have to be aware that Microsoft provides you a free trial to Azure. So that's very good, because then when you have to study and prepare for your exams for MCSE CPI, then you can get for 12 months a sufficient period of trials on Azure. So that's a good way to start your tutorials and to learn things on the practical side on how to use, manage, and set up Azure. The portal, the machines, the networks, the services, etc., etc. So we are going to go on the website, that's azure.com. Yep, so it's in French. I'm going to put it back to English. Yep. So your vision, your cloud. short presentation, productive, hybrid, intelligent, trusted, the 54 regions. That's the background I've been using for the PowerPoint presentation. So, of course, a few references and kind of ready to go start applications that you can already have. So take some time to read. Maybe you have stuff, interesting stuff to do. Because over there, the main thing that interests us is start free. I think it's important to talk about Azure and the cost of Azure. So because yes, you have the start free. So if you're like studying, it's good for you. But because you see, you get 12 months and $200 credits. That's not that bad. So, but I'd say other providers like Google, or Amazon, they have a free tier as well. So you can do the same. Interesting thing to note here is that you have the pricing, as I mentioned. So you have to be aware that everything is sold, invoiced by the hour. Services, the VMs, so starting from, so for each VM, for instance, you have a different cost. It depends on what you're going to do. So you see burstable computer. So please take some time to read when you wish to start like a real cloud. Be careful of choosing your operating system. So like here, you can say Windows. You can say Windows. You can then check the West Europe and the pricing by the hour or by the month. Yeah, depends on what you would set up as automation if you have like stop and start. So there you have the price. That's in euros, of course. You can browse them that's in dollars. You can browse them in euros as well. So the free account. You click here. Start free or buy now. 12 months, 200 credit, and you have always free 25 services. So what is free there? You see, you have 750 hours. So of Linux, of Windows VMs. You have storage, memory storage, blob for databases, SQL databases, the Cosmos DB. So it's fine. You see, you have all that as well. App service. So you can really start your own Azure cloud for not much. And then if as soon as you start growing and using it more and more and deploying more services, more VMs, of course you'll have to pay. So we start free. So that's my account. Of course, you're going to use your own account. You put your email. So I'm going to make like demo liveedutv.com. Create one. You create one. You create your password, etc., etc. I won't go all of this. I'm going to cut here, and we are going to go to my own account. So as soon as you've signed up for the the free account, then you'll be able to access to the Azure portal. So there we go. That's the default one. So let me just show you a little around. So you have there all the services. That's where you can choose things that you want to be displayed as well on the side here. That's with the little stars here. So if you want to click here, up, there you go. You can move that to the top. You can remove one. I don't know, like for instance, I can remove virtual machines. I can put it back here. Going to need it. And basically that's it. So here you'll have to your service health, the little dashboard here. So that's you can remove from dashboard. You can add stuff in your dashboard. You can create new dashboards. It's pretty easy. There's not much to discover here. That's where you can set up your portal, and that is how you set up your own colors, contrast, the notifications and all. Can request for help, and you can watch your subscription here. That service health button helps you to basically watch what's going on in Azure to see if there are no issues for some services on parts of regions, or if you might have missing services, and then you will get alerts from there. So if I could just go back to the dashboard, that's again this button here. The marketplace, so you might be familiar with the marketplace on AWS or Google. So that's where basically you would start your own that's basically where you would pick up the machines or the services that you want to install on your cloud. So easily I can just click here. You can see all the type of virtual machines that you can deploy here. Windows servers, that's where you have Linux machines. What else? You can have like some specific databases. So the SQL, the Azure SQL, of course, the classical SQL databases. You have other Oracle and other type. All the developer tools. So if you're a developer, that's something that would interest you. You have all sorts of tools available for you. And well, it's not that bad. So you have help and support here. So you have a request, you have issues, you can tap it here. So the Microsoft support will be here for you. That's where you check out your billing. So you see 0, it's good. It's free. So that's nice. What else can I show you? Monitoring. There's not much to see there. The whole thing is empty, but that's where we'll go then next for management. As you can see, you can already have some demos there as well. So if you're looking for more insights on monitoring. It's going to be good also for you to prepare for the trials and the exams. So that's it for this tutorial. It was short. I guess we just wanted to start discovering the interface. I hope you enjoy. If you have some question about this tutorial specifically, just mention it. I'll try to reply to you as soon as possible. We are going to have a second tutorial, and we'll check out things about how to start your first VMs. And this is going to be a bit longer, and I hope you enjoy, so then you can start working a little bit on Azure platform. Okay, for this second tutorial, we are going to show you how to start your first resource on Azure. So we are going to show a simple example and creating a new Windows virtual machine. So you have several ways to do that. You have 3 ways to create a new virtual machine. That would be using the portal, as we are going to do first. The second way would be to use the PowerShell, so from remote access to from your desktop with the PowerShell commands. But I won't show it to you. You'll have to go through the tutorial, which is here, and it will explain you how to do the same using the PowerShell. And the third way would be to use the Azure CLI, which we can use through the portal as well. So I will show you at the end of this second tutorial how to do that. So basically what we are going to do is click here, create a resource. We are going to choose Windows Server 2016 VM. There we go. And that's where we are going to create our VM from scratch. So we're going to put a name here, choose the region. We are in Europe, so I'm going to use West Europe. So as you can see, there are really specific rules when you create the name of your machine. Resource group, don't forget, new trial. Okay, virtual machine name. We chose the region, so depending on the region, you would have different prices on the options that you choose for your VM. We are not really going to check out the availability options, so there you can see what it does. Availability and resiliency for your applications. We don't care at the moment. The image. So this can be either already provided image, or you can upload your own as well. Again, it's an option. We are going to keep it that way with the Windows 2016 machine. There you choose, you start configuring your VM. You can change the size if you want. That's pretty standard here. So you can see, you can go 32. Choose the IOPS. There are lots of options that you can choose. And you can see here the cost per month for. So I'm going to, let's say, yeah, I'm going to keep the default here. So click select. This didn't change a thing. So username. training. I'm going to put a password. Smart password, you can see. Administrator, it's confirmed. Username, training. Here you have the rules for the password, so you have don't forget to put some special character and some length. Let me do that again. I think it's not enough. Okay, I think that should be enough. Then in the options later on, what we are going to do is that we are going to make some public inbounds. That means we'd like to get access with the RDP, for instance, and the HTTP at first. So if you already have a license and you can use with Azure, so you can, you see, reduce the price of the VM. And basically, that should be it. You can review and create directly. I will show you the other options. So next disk. There, you can select your options for the disk, create and attach a new disk, or attach an existing disk if you already have a disk yourself. You have the networking options. So this machine will create by default a new virtual network, but we might need to use an existing virtual network. There's going to be a new public IP as well. Same story here. If you already have one, you might use it. That's the management part for the monitoring, so you can turn on and off the options. Turn on the backup, for instance. That's the guest config, so you can have like installation scripts to automate things when you boot up the machine. Put some tags here, so that will help you to manage more easily some machines if you want to if you want to specify like a group of users or a type of application that's going to be used. And in your search, when you have dozens of machines, it's often easier for you to simply look for the resources directly by searching them like you would do for files. So basically we went through it. I'm going to create this VM. Yes, create. So we can see here there's a little warning. It's about the VM being deployed. There's still some activity, so I'm going to accelerate all this and go through the creation. Okay, so after a few minutes, things have happened, as you can see. So there it just finished deployment of the machine. So we can just simply go to the dashboard. There you can see the new machine, mine. You click on the machine. And there we are. So it's in the resource group new trial. The name of the machine is mine. It has a public IP address. The virtual network is here. And basically what we are going to do now is going to connect to it. So we just click on connect. You can download the RDP file. And I'll just open it. So I type in the password and the username and then the password now. Hope I don't get it wrong. Okay. Connect. And so there we are, it's connecting to the VM. I've reduced the window because it's quite... Okay, so we are going to install IIS using the PowerShell. Let me just grab the window so you can see it at the same time. Sorry, Windows feature. Yes, and include management tools. Okay. Installation is over. So from there we can test the web access to this VM using the public IP address. And there we go. So we have a perfectly functional Windows 2016 data center VM with an exposed IIS on the internet. That was pretty easy, as you can see. In a few minutes, you get access to your services. So as I told you, you can use 3 different ways to create the VMs: the portal, the PowerShell from your computer, or the Azure CLI. So for the Azure CLI, it's pretty simple. So you'll have to click here to access to the Cloud Shell. It's going to launch the terminal. You have to type in the correct commands to create your first VM using this. Create, if you don't already have one you wish to use at the moment, to create a resource group, as we did as well using the web interface. Resource group 1, we're going to choose the location, which is going to be West Europe. So don't be afraid to be wrong, because as you can see, I would type something wrong there. The interface will show you that the location that you've typed is not correct. And here it gives you the list of the correct regions. So we are going to type West Europe, as we did in the one before. And there you go, so you have a new resource. So if I refresh here, so we are going to create the VM now, after we've done the resource group. We are going to use, sorry, I did a mistake. I'm going to do it again. So AZ VM create, Azure VM create. Resource group. So we are going to use the one we just created for this purpose. The name of the VM, VM CLI. Then I'm going to specify the image, the machine image that we wish to use. If you make a mistake, you can correct that later. The admin user. Training again. And the password. So what's nice with this is that instead of using the way that we did before, is that you can use this method, so you can keep all your script on the side in files, and then just basically copy and paste them afterwards. That's a nice way to create your VMs from one tenant to another, and you can reuse every time the same script, or just modified it a little bit if you need for specific requirements. Let me just do some. Okay, sorry, I had a little issue with my keyboard, so now I guess it should be fine. We create the VM. So again, it's going to take roughly the same time, a few minutes, and then the VM is going to be created. So you just have to keep that window open, because if you close it, then the script won't run very well. So I'm going to move on and move you to the result. There we go. The VM was created as well. You can see there. I click on the machine. IP. You can see the public IP address is different. So what do we have as well here? Networking, let's just check out. RDP is allowed. Machine should be running. So let's connect. Same thing. We download the RDP. Connect. And there we are. Perfectly functioning VM. So you can see here, that's where you can control the VM as well. So if we just have a look at all the VMs, you can do a stop by selecting many VMs at the same time. So we just simply delete them because we don't need them anymore. If you want to confirm delete, you have to write that yes, you want to delete them. So you delete them, yes. There you go. Has this impacted our cost? Just shut down the CLI here. Well, doesn't look so. We'll see later. So I hope you enjoyed this video of this tutorial, and let's move on to the other slides. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorials. I enjoyed making them, so I hope you had pleasure watching them. If you have any questions, again, don't hesitate to contact me and send me an email or just a comment in the right zone of the web page. So in this one, I wanted to show you the labs that Microsoft can provide you. So here, the basics. So you see, I put the references there on the site, but here you can see Learn Azure. You have lots of tutorials. So if you want to have really practical, hands-on, to relax a bit more after reading the books or listening to the courses, then you can go there and have modules you can follow from Microsoft. And so you have a start. It's all very well designed, very well done, and that would give you really good practical insights on how to use Azure. So I would say the three ones if you want to study specific exams, those tutorials, they would give you access to some knowledge, and you can compare that to what you have learned. It's very important for you to get familiarized with Azure. You can't just go inside the exam room and pass the exam without having any hands-on experience on the subject, because at some point your visual memory is going to work and help you resolving, answering the questions that you will be asked during the exam. So some more books, free books on MVA, as I said, so you can go there and check out. You have the docs, Microsoft.com. This one is very also interesting. If you want some more free books, if you didn't have enough with the books that you purchase, you have like answers that you can read. You see there. They also talk about Pluralsight. The Pluralsight, they give you free courses. Of course, they are affiliated with Microsoft, so that's why they would push that to here. So I don't know, like for instance, this one. Azure Monitor, so you have again another tutorials, 5-minute quick start. So like this, you can learn quick things, or if you read something or heard something during one of the courses you followed, or you have any question, you can browse that, have a quick search there and have a really deep look inside the documentation and some tutorials that are provided by Microsoft. Of course, after all that learning, you have to practice the exam. So there's the whole section afterwards where in the next session where I will speak about how to prepare for the D-Day, for the exam. This is more like how to get trained for exams, because if you have like 1 or 2 shots at 70, 533, if you have no experience of trying the exams, there's a good chance that during the first session, the first exam you'll pass, you'll fail. So it's unique to practice the exams as well as doing at the same time the revising the book. The more you will practice the exams, the more you will learn the type of question you will have, and the less surprised you'll be when you enter the exam room. So this website is known, very well known. It's examcollection.com, and so from there you can get free dumps from exams. So that's people providing questions. So just beware, because sometimes they are really completely fake, or they don't have enough questions. You have to download the files, and then you get like a simulator to you have to download, open the files with the simulator, and you get questions like this. So what's interesting is that, of course, they provide you real questions from real exams. The more recent they are, the better, of course, because Microsoft, they often change the questions, but still download most of them and try to prepare like this using the simulator. You use the dumps, you open the dumps, and you start the questions. And like in a real situation, you can pass a fake exam like this, and you see how many points you have, what area you failed, and check out exactly where you need to insist on your training. Go back some more and practice some more exams until you get sufficient score to pass until you get the famous 700 points. So you have other websites you can see there. So Be Leisure, we already spoke about it. Microsoft Exam Refs, that they are important. Microsoft provides them to you. It's a good training as well. It's not the best, but at least you have some from Microsoft. And you have also mindhub.com, so it's worth the look, because there you have a bit more for you to revise and to train. So I hope you enjoyed session 2. Now we are going to session 3. So it's session 3 next to up. So I hope you enjoy session 2. Session 2 was about what books to read, how to train, how to get practice exams. So I hope you are going to follow my advices. It's very important for you to get well trained and to learn well the books, the things, and also to get very much practical hands-on Azure. If you don't do it, there's a good chance you're going to fail the exams, and that's something you don't want to do. So now in session 3, we are going to talk about how to prepare for D-Day and how to deal with failure and success. You need to pass, remember that you have to pass 3 exams at least, 4 maybe, depending on the MCSE path that you want to take. But to get to your MCSE, you need to get at least 3 exams, and you need to have some plan to do that. That's for session 3. So I hope you enjoy session 2, and I see you in the next session. Hi everyone, this is Jan again. We are at the last session of how to prepare Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer, Cloud Platform and Infrastructure exams. So this is sessions number 3. We are going to talk about the day of the exams, how to prepare, how to get ready, how to put your mind into that state where you are going to succeed. If that does not happen, how you can deal with failure, how to cope with failure, and to learn that failure is not such a bad thing. And, well, you know, you might just pass the exam, so welcome. You did it. 2, 3, 4 exams maybe you got. So you got certified MCSA after MTA, and now after MCSA you're going to be an MCSE. So welcome to the club. So let's start. So first let's talk about how to succeed at your exams. So that's a good point for you to know that studying, learning, practicing is not the only thing that you need to do to succeed at your exams. There are a number of things that you need to be aware of and that you need to take into account and that you need to take action for. You have to be aware of who your strongest allies are. The goals. So start by deciding what you want to achieve. What are your goals? Then you have to write them down. This makes them more real and it will help you to commit to them. You have to display them somewhere where you can see them daily. And in order that you would remind what your goals are on a daily basis. It will also serve you to reinforce your goals. Don't forget to review your goals at regular intervals to make sure that they still work for you. You need to be aware of them. When you set your goals, it's important to make sure that they are SMART goals. And SMART in not being intelligent smart. SMART in it's an acronym that will help you to formulate your goals. So SMART, if you don't know what it is, SMART goals, it's S for specific, M for measurable or meaningful, A for achievable or acceptable or action-oriented, R for relevant or realistic, T for time-framed or time-bound. SMART, S-M-A-R-T. Specific. Well, for instance, complete 532 cloud services management part, rather than read the first part of the learning material. Just be always specific and precise. Measurable, M. This means that you can measure what you've done. For example, if your goal is to complete this by Friday afternoon, you'll be able to measure whether or not you've achieved your goal. Always measure. A for acceptable. Are the goals and are they acceptable to you? Is that your goals, really? Ensure you decide what you need to do, not someone else. Are you passing the exams for you? R, realistic. Make sure that you have planned doable actions. You can read 40 pages in a day or so, but setting yourself 200 pages to read in a day may not be realistic. Always be sure that you can accomplish your goals. Don't go over too much. T for time framed. This means that giving your goal a deadline. For instance, I read the chapter 1 and 2 on Thursday afternoon, or I complete the draft on my assignment by the end of this week or this date. So be smart. A mind map. In case you don't know, mind mapping is a method to visualize information, typically in form of a text, but you can combine it with any content, images, drawing, hyperlinks, etc. that serves your memory to remember of things you have to learn. Once information is captured, you can work with it to build relationships, groups, hierarchies, dependencies, association labels, etc., etc. The constructs that you develop in a map can give you insights that you didn't have when you first looked at individual pieces of information. You can start recognizing patterns, additional relationships and trends, things that were not obvious before you put the map together. In one way, it allows you to pack a lot of information in a very limited space. And at the same time, well, it can help you to abstract detailed info into more general topics and help you reduce complexity. In short, if you are facing difficulties to learn things or to remember things, this map, this visualized environment for your knowledge is going to help you to remember things more easily. All this make mind maps suitable to serve as an organizer of your individual mind. You can use them to research or brainstorm topics, to help you to prepare your documents, your presentations. You can use them for context, for interviews, to manage projects, or to prepare exams. Another good ally, time. But time can be a fierce enemy. Remember that you only have 24 hours in a day and one resource only for your job, your leisure time, your family time, your exam training time, only one resource, and that's you. When you're studying, be sure you do it on an agenda. Organize and keep track of the time you will spend. I strongly encourage you to own this habit. Wake up early and study in the morning. Wake up, take a coffee, and study for 1 hour before going to work, or 2 hours, depends if you're an early bird or not. Your brain works well in the morning. It works better in the morning. Revise in the evening, go back to read a little bit in the evening before going to bed, and skip any things that you might do that are useless, like watching YouTube, some dumb movies or TV series that you already see. Just concentrate on your exams. Whatever you made to finish your day, if it's not important, skip it and do some reading, do some practice, review some chapters you didn't understand. Just go back to study a little before going to bed. Go to sleep as early as possible and repeat. Also, please always remember that you have to allow yourself some time off. You don't have to kill yourself at working, especially if you are weeks away from the exam dates. No rush. Take your time. Focus. Aha. Always study and practice in the same condition as you would for the exam, in a quiet place with no distractions around. Stay focused. Put your mind in that state. You are a nervous person, you can't stand silence. Well, try to do some light meditation 5 to 10 minutes before starting. No music in the background, especially if you like music. That's very bad. No movies, no kids around, no wife around, no noise. That's the best for you to get straight into focus mode. Stay calm and focus before opening your book. If you read on a tablet, install an app like Freedom. I don't know if you know it. Search for Freedom app to lock it and limit access time to reading app. Only that reading app that you would use during the time of study. Cut off your phone as well. No internet, of course. No distractions. True focus is hard to reach. It takes practice. It is necessary to succeed. But you have enemies as well, of course. You. You and your procrastination. For many, procrastination is harmless. For others, it can be a real pain in the you-know-what. Consider a freelancer whose paycheck is tied to productivity, or an entrepreneur who wants to start a new business. In these cases, procrastination can be costly. So I give you 3 tips. There are more, but I will just give you my favorite 3 tips. Number 1, don't wait for perfection. Perfection will derail you from progress. When you wait for every detail to be just right, you'll end up spending too much time on a particular thing, and other responsibilities will suffer, other tasks will suffer. More importantly, things you will never be completed because perfection really doesn't exist. Don't try to know 100% of all the courses, of all the pages, of all the questions. There's no use of that. Remember that to pass one exam, you need to get 700 points. That's the goal. Get your 700 points. If you feel like getting more, well, be my guest. Personally, I prefer to get the 3 exams and get my MCSE done. That's it. To make anything happen, you can't wait for perfection. Use the 80-20 rule instead. So that rule is like, if you went through 80% of your goal to study, then you should probably think about registering to the exam to pass, or try a fake one at least to see how you score, and then go for it. Go. Second tip, break a large project into little tasks. If you find yourself failing at some point, it's because the task is too big. So break it down to the smallest task possible. Then assign each task to a day on the calendar. Just always think about this agenda. It's important to organize yourself on time. Even if it's just like 15 minutes every day. Just, do it. This is good for your studying plan, but this can be used as well for other things in order to organize also your studying plan around your life and your job. So each time you complete one of these small tasks, then you'll be gaining momentum and you will get a better boost, a better psychological boost that would be good for you. So always break things into little things. Then third advice, work with your natural rhythms. That means if you are keen on staying in bed late, do it. If you feel like waking up early and going to bed early, do it. Just stay true to yourself. The key is to understand that when your personal productivity hours are, which of them are you a morning person, or you a night person, and an afternoon or person, whatever. Take the advantage of them for the most difficult and on high priority tasks. So if you find yourself stuck, change your environment. Go to work somewhere else, in a cafe, change the office, maybe go to a meeting room, go to the library, I don't know, and go to a park if the weather is nice. Change of scenery can help you refresh your ideas, refresh your mind, and put you in a state that's going to be better to study as well. So just also remember, it's like a fourth advice, that all work and no play is not good for anyone. So one of the best way to battle procrastination is to give yourself some time off. I know that's a bit of strange, but that's where the time audit comes in. Look to eliminate busy work wherever possible, whenever possible. It's not accomplishing anything and won't recharge your batteries. Replace busy work with something that you truly enjoy. Understood? Good. Money. That's an enemy. Everyone has a budget. You don't? Well, you should. At least to make one for your MCSE exams. You have to remember that failing an exam is costly. Each exam will cost you around 200 euros, excluding any retake, and a bit more if you take a bundle with a retake. So that would be around 225, something like this. So always take this option. I think it's a good for the extra money that you have to spend on it, unless you are very sure of yourself when you pass the exam. Also, never take the appointment of the exam before knowing you can pass the exam. Be prepared first and then make the appointment. Don't stress yourself on an urgent date. That will save you some money as well. So make that budget. That's easy. You have 3 exams. Okay, that will cost you around 700 euros. You are going to need the books. Let's add 200 more. Your time. That's a good budget time. I would say roughly 48 to 60 hours a month for 2 months. Okay, that's a good, that's around 100, 120 hours to study. That's good time to study one exam, not all of them. And then remind yourself that you have other costs that might be there as well. You need to take the online courses. That's extra, 100 euros per month. You need to take live courses, live training. That would be, 1,500, 200, 2,000. So you see, in the end, you can finish with a budget around, just for one exam, around 3,000 euros. So be sure that you have them and be careful with that. Avoid any frustration because you are limited on money to pass the last MCSE exam. That would be stupid. Just make sure you have the budget for everything. Can be your company that pays that. If not, if you do that personally, so just be careful on your money, or you might just not be able to take vacations because what you've decided to pass an MCSE CPI, and that would be a frustration you'd like to avoid, not going on vacation. Okay, so next. On D-Day, what's going to happen on D-Day? What's going to happen on D-Day is that first you need to set your mind to the exam. You have to focus on the exam during that day, but not only, of course, during your preparation, during your studying, during your reading time. When you prepare for the exam, you need to focus on the exam. That's really important for you. You need to put yourself in a state where you only want to succeed. So that's very difficult, as we can see, because of course you won't be always preparing. You have a job like I do. You have a family like I do, so you need to find some place and some time to study, to be relaxed and concentrated for the preparation. Also, you might know that reading and learning is not the only thing that would get you succeeding the exam. You have to have experience as well. You have to have some more knowledge, which would be more tactile knowledge, I would say. So if you are just studying, just a student, just learning the phrases, learning the books, learning the videos, the articles you might read, or going through the forums, or learning, by heart the questions of the exam that you might get in the dumps, well, too bad for you. That won't be sufficient. You have to understand all the concepts from a fundamental level. That's key to success. Key to success. Another key to success is time management. The day of the certification, the day you're doing your exam, you should have always on you a watch or a way to measure time. On the screen of the exam, you're going to be shown, of course, the time passing, but it's really, you need to have also to visualize time on the side to be sure that you don't forget anything, and that's really going to be in your vision, the time that you're spending on each and every questions. I will give you some tips later on, because not only are you going to have to answer the questions one by one, but you will have also to, well, basically go back to them. I will explain later. Okay, so even if you're not sure about any answer of the questions that you might reply during the exam, just write it down, go over it. You might come back later. Even if you are not sure, you should always submit an answer as per your skills and knowledge, okay? If you're not sure, just reply. You might get lucky, or your inner knowledge, your small little instinct may give you the good answer. So always reply to the question, always. Also, last but not least, you need to keep cool. Don't do like I did when I started the MCSE preparation. It took me a year to get through it because I was so nervous about getting the exam. Yes, it's important. Yes, the exam. Yes, to the certification. It's stressful. I understand. Just don't panic. Stay calm and be confident. You have to be aware that for each exams you need to pass, you have around 1 hour and a half, 2 hours in which you're alone in front of that screen, clicking, typing, answering, reading the questions. That's 50 to 70 questions. You will have to go through them one by one, calmly, to get to your minimum 700 points. Minimum 700 points in order to pass the exam. You get 699, you don't get the exam. You get 701, you get the exam. Understand? So, depends on what you wish for. If you want to have the best notes or just get the exam. My choice is made. Again, leave stress at home. Don't come with stress. It won't serve you. It won't help you. You will have to do it anyway to pass through it, to get over it. Just forget stress. You don't need it. It won't serve you. So in order not to be stressed, don't be a rush. So arrive at least half hour before. Have a drink. Go to the bathroom. Eat something. Talk a little. Smoke cigarette. I don't know, just before going in, but just arrive at least half hour before, so you can relax before entering the room and before starting. But don't revise, don't make any revision, any last moment reading. Don't do it, okay? If you've decided not to go on site, not to go to a certified site to pass your exam, if you just decided to get for an online exam, I'd say danger. Just be careful, because in order to succeed an online exam, you need to be absolutely sure that you're in a calm zone where you can reply, where there's silence, where you won't be disturbed. Any disturbance, any noise, any changing of lights, any changing of anything of status, any phone ringing, any email received, that might get you just off. Talking about emails and being disturbed, just shut down your phone. Anyway, you can't have it with you during the exam, but shut it down anyway. I talked about it before. Go to the toilets before going to the exam, because you don't want to get disturbed by anything. Just stay focused, stay concentrated. Also, have a good breakfast. Eat something before. Drink, but not too much. And of course, alcohol is out of scope. Breathe. Take your time. Remember, you have 2 hours. If you're not sure of an answer, well, you know, as I said, you always have to answer. But if you're not sure, and if you can get back to it, because at the moment you have the new no-go back questions, so that means that you can't go back. But if you're not sure of the answer, just write the best you can think of. Maybe click it already. Just don't forget to go back to it. So anyway, you have pen and paper. So write carefully what your thoughts are on this question and go back to it later on. You done all the questions? Are you sure? You got 1 hour left? Review all of them, okay? Just go back to the answers. You never know, you might have missed something. That might be something that you replied you're not sure of. Just go back to the questions, read the answers. Give yourself a good half hour around this, okay? Just do me a favor and go back to that. Review everything. Okay. You might have failed. Happens, okay? You know. What went wrong? Okay. That's a good question. I can tell for myself. I was too stressed. I didn't study enough, and I didn't practice enough. So you have to go back to the grind. But if you have to go back to studying again, to reading again, just be mindful, because you need to be aware of. Just check out your score, okay? What's your score? 659? 259. 659, that means you probably got one answer away from success. Just one answer away from success. That's nothing. Well, if it's 259, 259 as a score, that means, or 250, 55, or 400, that's really bad, because that means that you get more than half of the answers wrong. So definitely you have to go back to work, okay? You need to prepare again? Not quite. I mean, you already had studied probably 3-4 weeks before passing the first exam, maybe a bit more, maybe 2 months. So you don't really need to prepare 100%. You just need to go back, review, check your score, check where you failed. I hope you write it down so you can see exactly what category is missing. Always be mindful that that might be a category where you felt strong and you failed. So that means, well, you're not that strong in that category, so maybe you should study it again. So just be smart, review just the question where the category of the questions where you failed the most, okay? You don't have to, revise everything, reread everything. It might be that if you take back the exam again, you might encounter the same questions. So don't forget, when you decide to pay for the exam, which would be around 200 euros, please take a voucher for a retake. There are sometimes special offers. You can check on Microsoft websites through Person's View and purchase a voucher where you can get like one exam pass and a retake for a good price, instead of spending too much money, because that's also a big cave hit when you're doing these exams. You might have to pass like 2, 3, 4 exams, maybe twice. So if it's like 200, you're like 1,000 euros off. Wow, that begins to count a lot. Even if you pass the first time, it's going to cost you at least 600 euros, and not counting the prices for the books and the courses and all. So just be mindful, be careful, okay? You failed, so revise what you failed most. See the exam results. I already said it, just rephrasing it again. Just be sure that you know where you failed and go back to that. Retake the exam, okay? So take the voucher, be sure you have a retake included, and do not wait too long. Retake the exam if you can between 3 to 7 days maximum after your first attempt. Do not lose all your benefits. That is important. That is important because your mind, you're set up to pass the exam. If you wait too long, you might feel discouraged and you might want to do something else. Just don't. Stay in that position where you know that you're going to succeed. Train yourself to go back to it. Work again, read again, listen to the course again, and then 7 days later, go back to the exam room and pass the exam. If stress was the issue, do something else to get your mind off it. That might be easy to say, but you can't always get what you want. As would say the song, you can't always get to succeed if you pass the exam. But don't be more stressed by it if you already were stressed by passing the exam. So try to get your mind off of it. Do something else. Maybe take a break, a short break. That should be good. Spend some time with your family, a bit away from work, maybe take a half a day, just to relax and get your mind off your failure, okay? That's important because stress is okay? Stress is a bad thing. So your biggest enemy, it's you, you know? It's only you, as I said. So you just need to be careful with yourself. Try to learn what helps you to reach your goals and stay on it and go back to the grind. If you fail, go back to the grind, work again, study again. Not too much, just enough, and pass the next exam. Success. Success. That felt good. You pass your first exam, you get Microsoft Certified Professional. You pass 2 or 3 exams, you get MCA. So here I put the label from internet. It's Office 365, well, whatever. And then you pass MCSE Productivity. In our case, that would be like MCSA, I don't know, Windows 2012, 2016, or Windows Cloud. And then you get to MCSE CPI. Congratulations. Welcome to the club. Be proud. Be proud of yourself because hard work always benefits. That's really, really important for your state of mind. You can share, you can enjoy, have a party maybe, celebrate. Really, it's a good time. You might have spent weeks, days, nights to study out of your work. Well, you got 3 exams at least from Microsoft. Wow, that's good. Now you have a nice certificate. It is proof. It is life proof that you master the skills related to the certificates. You pass. No, not everyone pass all the exams. And to get to MCSE, it's a long road, a long road. And wow, you should be really proud. With the certificate, you're going to increase your values when you apply for a job. Certified people, they get higher salaries, as I mentioned at the first session. That's a very good reason to get your MCSE. According to Microsoft, your chances of getting hired increases 5 times. 5 times. Okay, So you should have definitely a thought about it. And well, you know what? That's a very good news as well. Certificates are accepted worldwide. It's like a worldwide diploma. Wherever you go, whenever you do it, if you enter an IT company, they will know they can count on you because you're valuable with your certificate. It's very good for you. So I hope you enjoyed this last session. I hope you enjoyed the whole project. I will see you in the next steps. As we said earlier, we are going to make 3 more projects, more specifically on 3 exams, which is exam 70, 532, 533, and 535, in order to show you a complete path to success to get your MCSE cloud platform and infrastructure. So have a nice day, enjoy, and see you soon.